Let's talk about the ongoing inquest into the daughter of Kate Shemirani.
Yes, absolutely. Now, Brian was talking about this, or at least the way it's been treated by elements of the mainstream media on Monday. And therefore, today, what we're going to do is start with a report from Will Coleshill, who's been following the inquest into the death of Paloma Shemirani.
Hello, my name's Will Coleshill, reporting for UK Column, and today I'm down at Kent and Midway Coroner's Court, reporting on the inquest into the death of Paloma Shemirani, and about whom many people would have heard quite a lot considering the recent BBC smears and attacks. Obviously, many people will know Paloma as the daughter of Kate famous freedom activist, but this has been a very interesting case. It involves the NHS, it involves the BBC, Panorama, Marianna Spring, and we have had the first day of the inquest today. We've seen a few bombshells being dropped. This day mostly focused around the evidence of a Dr. Mohan, one of the key doctors who's going to be testifying in this case. Now, most of the claims and most of the attacks by the BBC revolved around the concept that Kate was somehow coercing her daughter into dangerous medical treatment. And these were put forth by her sons Sebastian and Gabriel. Gabriel was in court today. He attempted to question Dr. Mohan on this as to coercion, and Dr. Mohan was quite clear. Paloma had competence, and there was no coercion. What's being alleged here by Kate is that her daughter was medicated without her consent, which weakened her and moved her down the path to her death. Kate had the opportunity today to question Dr. Mohan and took a substantial amount of time questioning her and her conduct and that of her colleagues. In particular, are concerns with what drugs Paloma was given, when she was given them, how much she was given, and whether she was given the correct information, and even the correct information as to her diagnosis. Some of the main contention points were that she was given no wristband by which to identify her, the fact that she did not sign a written consent form, as is part of the procedure of the hospital, the fact that she was given a large dose of steroids, as admitted by Dr. Mohan, despite it being alleged she was only offered a small dose, and being denied her information, including her histology, in order to make an informed decision which she could pass over to doctors for second opinions. In fact, Paloma was allegedly only able to get her histology through a subject access report. I spoke to some of the mainstream media reporters down here today, and it was quite interesting that a lot of them weren't aware of the statements. Her statements couldn't be clearer. They are very, very specific, that she said that she wanted to choose the natural path over chemotherapy, which she considered to be dangerous. It seems in this case, her mother's position and her mother's prominence may have factored into how doctors treated Paloma. In fact, after Paloma discharged herself, doctors were still attempting to persuade Paloma to go back into chemotherapy for a substantial amount of time. There was some contention with the coroner, between the coroner and Kate, as Kate continually read out again and again the statements signed by Paloma. At some points, Kate was muted, which was particularly interesting in the court. However, it is more relaxed than most courts I've been down to. Now, this is just the first day of this inquest. This is just the first stage which led to Paloma moving in with her mother to look after her, keep her safe, before the eventual incident that led to her death. But this is the start of that road. I'm going to be back down covering more of this, and I think there are massive implications with regards to it.
We'll have more from Will in due course about this, but it's perfectly obvious, even if you've had no previous contact with this case, that there are an enormous number of issues that come out of it that bear serious scrutiny, and indeed many that concern elements well beyond the remit of the various organisations and medical professionals that were concerned in this case. On top of which, of course, regardless of your point of view on Kate Shemirani or indeed the wider family, the fact that the family has been dragged into this in a sort of propagandist, sensationalist sense is, objectively speaking, seemingly completely abhorrent. Now, what I'd like to do is point you towards an article published on the UK Column website just yesterday by Eugenie Verny, When Marianna Met the Shemiranis, How Reporting Becomes propaganda. Now, you'll remember that Brian has recently spoken to Eugenie for a very interesting interview about her career in journalism and indeed how she's seen the system be subverted in front of her very eyes. So it's a very well constructed piece, and I really would encourage that you do look at that. And also, in terms of UK column content, the other issue that's brought to the fore is this very problematic area of organ and tissue donation. And No Time to Die, an article which is on the website and has been for some time by Dr. Mike Williams, really gets into all the issues that presents. So there is a lot more to come out in this. I don't know, Mike, if you've got a few words to say on this, or whether it's something that we look into more in extra. But nonetheless, I really would encourage you to go into those articles on the website.
No, we'll cover this more